All right, in this video, we're gonna go over the push-up and all the variations you can kind of go from easiest with band assisted to adding more range of motion and then even adding some external weight outside of our body weight, okay? So let's start with the band assisted variations. So in these variations, you need to use a rack because the bands are gonna go under our hip, okay? So how we can make this easier versus harder is one, by the J-clip height. So the higher the clip goes, the easier it's gonna get you out of the push-up because there's gonna be more tension on the band. Or you can bring the clips lower and reduce the tension on the band, but use a variety of either a thicker band or a thinner band, okay? So lifting them higher is gonna be easier, bringing them lower is gonna be harder, and then depending on how many bands you're gonna use. But to set up, make sure the clips are at the same height, and then I'm gonna start with 2 bands, okay? Now these variations are alleviating some of our body weight, okay? So we're getting band assistance. So from there, band should go across the hip, and then still setting up in a normal push-up from the toes, lowering down as the band stretches. That's gonna help me push my body weight back up, okay? So here's a band-assisted option, which is gonna be your easiest option outside of using a bar and changing the angle of your body weight, okay? So as you get better with bands, you can just reduce the amount of bands you use. So now that I just have the red band, that's gonna make it harder for me to push back up, okay? So that is your go-to band-assisted variation. From there, we're gonna move to strictly body weight variations, okay? So whatever your body weight is, that's how much you need to push. And the first step would be just doing all reps from the knees. So you can see I've got my knees on the floor, my feet off, and I'm gonna lower as 1, chest to the floor, push back up, okay? This is the next level in the push-up progression, okay? Because again, I'm not having my whole body weight complete the push-ups because I've got my knees on the floor to kind of shorten the distance between my hands and my feet, okay? The next progression is a mix of both. We're gonna come up on the toes. I'm gonna perform the eccentric, which is the lowering on my toes. Once I get to the bottom of my push-up, I'm gonna drop the knees, push back up, reset, okay? This should be the next progression in your push-ups once you feel you've done enough with the band assistance and you've done enough just with your knees on the floor, then I would still start to try to incorporate some where you're doing the eccentric component, the lowering on the toes, and then the concentric, the pushing back up on the knees, okay? From there, feeling pretty good. Now we can start doing all reps strictly on the toes, just with our body weight. Okay, now this stage should be the longest stage until you're able to get at least 8 clean, full range of motion reps. I would even try to get upwards of 15 before you go to the next step, okay? So those are just classic body weight push-ups. You can do them all the time. Try to get to a point where you can do 15 with your body weight with good technique. Once you're at that point, you're becoming really strong with your body weight. Now, it's time to challenge the system a little more. So what we can do is increase the range of motion. So one way I like to do this is by using dumbbells. Okay, so the bigger the dumbbells, the higher the hands are gonna be off the floor, which is gonna require you to get a little more lower into your push-up to perform the exercise, okay? So you could follow the same progression scheme with using the knees, the toes, but by this point you should be able to complete at least 6 reps with some added range of motion, getting a bigger stretch through the working tissues in your push-up, okay? So that's the next progression from just your standard body weight push-ups. Now it's time to add a bit more range of motion. And once you get really confident with that, you're doing 10 to 15 reps of deficit push-up with the hands elevated on the dumbbells. Now you can start to add weight to your body weight to make it harder, okay? So the best way to do this is a plate. If you've got a training partner or someone at the gym that can throw the plate on your back, it's a lot easier. But one way you can do it on your own is get it on your low back here, hinge the hips down, and then you just got to balance that on the spine as you perform weighted push-ups. Okay, weighted push-ups from a deficit are going to be the hardest push-ups to complete. And then once you're done, just drop the knees, bounce it to the side. Okay, so there's kind of a lineage of a bunch of push-up variations that have you perpendicular to gravity, which is going to be best when you're practicing your push-ups. So these are the hardest variations, and how you can go from level 1 with the bands to the highest level, which is the weighted from a deficit. So hope this video helps to understand how you can keep progressing your push-ups in the training program.